when you go and play volleyball, you need a certain level of confidence to know, like, I can win here today.
You gotta have a little bit.
And then having the humility to know that this is just an experience that we're having. You're not better than anybody else. And, in the end, we're all going to die anyway. So,
Luke Cook, welcome to the show.
wow, what an honor.
You have a lot of fun.
I do.
Is it real, or is it, when I say that, because when I watch you, I think, oh, this is a lot of fun. And then when you walked up today, I thought, oh, and he's a serious guy.
Oh God, that's not good.
It's excellent.
I guess I'm multifaceted, but it's all authentic. Like, I really am having fun and want to have fun and want to share fun with the world.
Are you a youngest child? Like, what is that?
The last of 5. Well done. You knew that.
I did not. Usually I look everything up. I didn't look that up, but it seems to be right the way it goes.
Classic youngest child, I think. The surprise, like 8 years after everybody else. It was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the delight though, right?
I guess so.
Or you were like, I'm over here.
Yeah, I became very much like they all went to Bible college and I went to Hollywood.
Oh, same thing. Very, very similar.
Performative.
So you grew up obviously in Australia, and did you know early that performing, because singing and performing, was this something that bit you early?
I suppose, I guess I really just liked entertaining people. I knew that. And then I'd watch movies and loved watching TV and movies and was just like, I want to do that. That looks really fun. And obviously seeing that and then going, I want to do that, it's so different when you actually go and try to do it. You realize you need more skills than to just like entertain people. You need more skills. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a longer journey for me. I'm certainly not an overnight success. Like, it's ongoing.
What about the training part? Because you sort of, the word training is a big part of your life as far as, working in a movement business, but also you have to develop your craft. So there's a training and a practice. What is that? Does that discipline come easily for you? Did you develop that discipline? Was it, hey, because I'm so interested in the thing, I'm motivated to do the practice?
Yeah.
Or the training? Like, how did you get that?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. Like, I think that I'm always into what I'm into, and I'm really not into what I'm not into. So at school, I was just a horrific student. But when it came to drama, I loved it. When it came to music, I loved it. And I was so dedicated to those things. But you couldn't make me do maths. Like, I was just wanting to talk, and like, it was just like, I'm like, sorry, I'm not interested in this. I'm not going to pay any attention. I'm going to be a terrible student. So when I love something, I love it deeply and I go for it. And then that's where the passion is really all stems from that. And I think I'd tell any artist or anyone who's wanting to like go and achieve something, love it deeply enough, and the rest will take care of itself, because you won't work a day in your life in that sense. Like, you'll just keep loving it. You'll get rejection after rejection after rejection. But if you love the thing that you're aiming at so much, it'll eventually come through.
I feel like it's always a litmus test on how much you're willing to get, like, have your ass handed to you. How sincere. My husband always says, his analogy is like in surfing. And he's like, when you're being held under, your intention of why you're there is really clear. Because if you're like, I don't want to be here, this isn't the thing, then actually it's not your thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same with, you've picked a hard occupation where you have to knock on 1,000 doors. And I would even imagine, I was thinking when I saw you, your size may be harder because you're a big guy.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's not worked for me a lot, but there are some times where it's like, yeah, okay, you could be like The Rock or John Cena or these guys that are absolutely enormous. I just think I'm a little bit different to them. But yes, it doesn't necessarily work for me. But a question for you: do you think that, like, your love of volleyball, for instance, was it your love for volleyball, or was it your love for winning?
Oh, interesting. No, I'm weirdly, yes, I like to win, but it was everything around it. It gave me a family. It gave me structure. I have a lot of inherent discipline. I remember as a young teenager, when I really started getting serious, it made me feel really good about myself. Like I respected myself after practice. And there was a real power in, and being a part of something. I think, you have athletes that are more singular. I am in every way a team player. I love being on a team. I love the idea of amplification, or you and I together could do this together. We could be better together. It's kind of more fun.
Would you agree or disagree with the statement that I think that like isolated players, like tennis players, swimmers, tend to be more narcissistic?
It's just different. And let me tell you, the mental grind on those kinds of sports where you don't have a teammate outlet, to be like at practice where you look at each other like, oh, like your coach is on one that day or whatever, or just have a laugh, versus the kind of mental, the way that they are built mentally is so really, really different. I mean, think about tennis. At least swimming, it's kind of over fast. Tennis, you're winning and losing in one match, 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And so it's just a really different kind of person.
Yeah.
I also thought it was pretty fun. But yeah, I like to win. I mean, you couldn't get to a certain level. But I was more like, hey, the goal is to win, so do your job.
Yeah.
And that was more my attitude than I just have to win. So you moved to LA?
About 18 years ago now.
And what's the plan? Like, do you know anyone? Do you go to a school? Like, what is the plan? And it's far.
It's far, and it's really caution to the wind. Like, it's like, what's going to happen? I don't know. Let's just go there and see. I came here with a manager, and that's it. And we like lived together in a studio.
You brought your manager?
No, he was here.
Oh, I was like,
he was starting his management company.
Okay.
He's my former manager now, but we lived in his studio apartment for a few months. And I decided, it was January in LA, and I was like, this is so incredible. This place is beautiful. This place is so much fun. And obviously you don't see the depths and the cracks and the anxiety yet. You got stars in your eyes. You see famous people walking down the street and you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I really loved comedy. And in Australia, there's not a lot of opportunity in that world. So I knew I needed to be here. And then so you come and just see like, okay, can we get a few auditions? Got a few auditions, got a few jobs. Couldn't do the jobs because I didn't have the right visa. Went back to Australia, got the visa, came back. I didn't work for like 7 years straight.
No, come on.
Yeah.
How many auditions a year?
Hundreds of auditions, I'd say, like, especially in those early days. Now it's different. The industry's changed. But hundreds of auditions, hundreds of rejections. But rejection's good. Like, and I would tell any actor going into it, get into a commercial auditioning, because there are so many of those, and you're going to hear no's all the time, which is good for you. Like, the more you kind of get into your belt, under your belt, and the more that you can like go, yep, rejection, cool. Like all those things, so it's just water off a duck's back after a while.
And how about like a casting where you walk into a room with sort of different iterations of yourself, and you think, I'm in a room with 25 guys that we're sort of hitting a target area. It's very strange.
Yeah, you get you like are in rooms of guys who are like, there's 20 of you, and like most of them are slightly better looking than you.
Yeah, it's just something, right? Or it's just I think it is interesting because it's that sense of I am who I am. If I'm going to be right for this gig, I'll get it. If I'm not, I won't.
Yeah. It's really hard not to take it personally too. Like it's really hard to go like, what did I do wrong? I swear I got that right. And that was for me. And I can't see anybody doing that part better than me. And then you've just got to let it go, and because you just move on to the next one. And it's always good when you have something new to move on to. The difficulty is when you don't have something to move on to, like another audition that comes through, it's just like you're dead in the water. So I always was looking for that next kernel of hope to just keep me going on the journey. Whether it was another audition or, putting up a scene in acting class, I was always just looking for that little thing that was like, okay, I can look forward to that, or I'm hopeful in that. And the truth is that to be a successful actor, like I'm a moderately successful actor, and I book 1% of the jobs that I go for. Yeah. And so that's like 99% rejection, no's, and that's the kind of percentage that you're looking at. And I think it's good to look down the like line and go, okay, the more rejections I can get, the closer I am coming to a yes. The more opportunities as well means that you're being called in for more things. That's a good thing, and you'll hone your craft and you'll get right, and something will pop up and be perfect for you, and you'll not get that one. And then I think patience is always on the other side of where you think you can't. Like for me, I've always gone like, if I don't get one of these roles, these 5 roles that I've just auditioned for, I'm giving up. And then you like didn't get any of them. It's like, okay, I'll just keep going. And then you get the role. It's like just beyond what you think you can take.
Yeah, that's that intention part, right? It's like, okay, we'll throw you a bone here.
Yeah.
So you, if I'm getting this right, did you meet your wife in New Zealand? No. She's from New Zealand.
She's born in New Zealand.
And you met on a set?
No.
Okay.
No, I like this. So
wow, this is like bad research.
No,
Gabby.
it's okay.
So you and Cara have 3 children.
3 boys.
At least I got that right.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. And I did think it was interesting. It's like you came all the way from Australia. She came all the way from New Zealand, and you found each other.
Well, get this. So she was born in New Zealand and then moved to Sydney when she was 4. I'm from Sydney, on the same street as me.
Oh, come on.
So we lived on the same street. And then we met in 2019
how long is this street?
In Los Angeles. It's a long one, but it's not like Santa Monica Boulevard or anything where it goes all the way to Florida. It's like it's a anyway, a couple miles long. We were on opposite sides of it, but still we were in the same suburb our whole lives. And then we never met until 2019 here, when I used to teach. When I was teaching fitness classes, her best friend used to come to my class. We became friends. Mm-hmm. She posted her on social media, Cara, and I was like, who the hell is that? Could you please introduce me? She was dating someone at the time, and she was like, well, a couple months went by, and Cara came into my DMs. Terrible person. She slid into your DMs? She slid into she's like, my friend said we should go on a date. Oh. We went on the date. I didn't know that she was Australian. I was expecting an American. And we were both like, oh, you're Australian? Yeah. Where are you from? Oh, from Burwood. Burwood, I'm from Burwood. What street? Oh. Claremont Road. I'm like, oh my God.
You move quick, because I feel like that wasn't that long ago. And I feel like your oldest son is...
Within the year we were engaged, and within that same year, Cara fell pregnant.
Yeah.
We moved. We just knew.
Yeah, I think, well, you're of the age too. You can probably make that call a little better than at 25 years old.
Totally. How about like the generational shift of that, right? Because at my parents' age, everyone got married. Even my sisters, they all got married in their early 20s, and I just feel like that's really not done anymore. And it's almost frowned upon now. It's like, gosh, that's so crazy to get married in your early 20s.
Yeah, I think it's both, though. I think the only thing for me is I see people pushing out having children way too late. I mean, I personally, my last kid I had close to 38 years old. That's like you're. I don't want to say you're pushing it. You can certainly have a child, but I also think we think, oh yeah, I'll deal with that. It's like, yeah, no. That's time sensitive. So it's kind of nice. Like you can pick your partner because you're you know yourself a little better. But then the downside is waiting too long. And it makes maybe creating, if you decide you want to do that, having children a little bit trickier. And I think you want to be young and energized a little bit. I mean, you have 3 sons.
Totally.
I mean, that's a lot of energy.
It's a lot of energy. And I find myself like wrestling. When I wrestle with them, I have to remind myself, like, you can't just lay here and wrestle with them like this, because that's my preference, because I'm tired.
You can now, but you just wait a little bit, and then you're going to need to be on 2 feet.
I know, and exactly. I can take them on like that, but I'm also like, I want to be up and like as energetic as them. And so one thing I do is I never say no to play. If they say, can we play? I'm like, I never say no, because I'm like, well, I'm very aware. I think everyone's hyper aware that this will not last. They will not ask you to play for very long. No. And so like, I'm like, of course, yes. Yeah. I'm crying because one day they won't ask that again.
No, and you won't want them to, because you'll be scared of them, by the way. You've done Good Cop, Bad Cop, and you have trained people at a serious level, like as a craft, not like I'm just paying the bills. So I guess what I thought about was, if you look at where you are now, you're drinking a shake well right now, is you've sort of been in all these different worlds. And now it feels like it makes all sense why you had to go on that journey, because you're also an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So acting and entrepreneurship, what's the same about them is it's a hard gig. You're an independent person. You've got to hustle. You have to make it happen. You're not going to just get the check in the mail and make it happen. Yeah. So what have you learned being an entrepreneur that has, I think we think it's one thing, and then we get into it and we go, oh, wow, this is really unexpected or different. What are you surprised, and why are you doing this?
Well, entrepreneur being an entrepreneur is multifaceted. It's like, and also like what I've been surprised about is how creative it is. Like, it is my goal to be creative for money. That's my life goal. It's like, I want to make money being creative. That's what I would love to do. And you hear about, being an entrepreneur, and you think, oh, you'll be in front of a spreadsheet all day working out numbers. And I'm like, I've never done that. That's totally amazing and creative to me. Like, I find that really fun now. And all these facets that you used to think, oh, business people boring. It's like, I've never had the chance to do this. Like, I feel like I have a new lease on life because I'm learning all this new stuff. The best thing I think about it is I get to be a newbie in something that I never thought I would do. Like, I love that I'm an actor going into food, because I'm like, okay, my goal is I want to create a protein drink that doesn't have any weird stuff in it. And so you come in and you go, all right, is that possible? Because no one else seems to really do protein drinks like that. Like, every protein drink you look at and you're like, what's that? Like, why is that in there? Does it have to be in there? Well, let me see. Like, let me go in as a newbie, like with no experience in this at all, and go, okay, how possible is it? So you work with a food scientist, and and they go, well, we could add a preservative in here because it's only lasting a few weeks. And you go, okay, no. Can we find a workaround to that? And you keep like hammering away, trying to keep on that goal level, which is like a perfect ingredient protein shake with no weird stuff in it. And a person who is not new wouldn't do that.
Right.
They'd be like, how do we turn a profit here? How do we make sure it lasts as long as possible? Right. And so that's what I like about it. It's like, I feel like my newness to it is an advantage, because I'm like, no, don't stray from the goal.
Yeah. Well, has anyone used the word industry standards on you yet? Like when it comes to formulating, I always love like, well, if you only use a little, you don't even have to put it on the label.
Totally.
And you're like, really?
Yes.
Is that honest? I remember the first time I heard that one, and I thought, oh, wait, we're not speaking the same language.
Yes.
This podcast is brought to you by OneSkin. I love OneSkin. I have been talking about and using OneSkin for years and years. It was first given to me as a present. My friend Heidi gave me Face, and then I went crazy from there. And the reason I did is the OS01 peptide. And it's the new year. It's been cold out. And I think most of us are like, hey, let's audit. Let's see what's working. Let's double down on what is working. And this works. I mean, they have 10,000 five-star reviews, but most importantly, it's all about the science. So at the core of their patented OS01 peptide, it's the first ingredient proven to target senescent cells. And that is the root cause of wrinkles, crepiness, and loss of elasticity, things that we've all experienced with skin aging. And these results have been validated in 5 different clinical studies. Science, science, science. They've certified safe for sensitive skin. OneSkin products are free from over 1,500 harsh or irritating ingredients. They're all tested. And customers consistently are raving about how their skin feels smoother, firmer, and just healthier looking, with results that get better over time, improving both not only the appearance, but just the overall health of their skin. So people will say, like, I can't believe a lotion actually improved my skin texture the way it has. And this is what I've experienced. So I told you I got Face, I have eye, body, and I love their SPF. So born from 10 years of longevity research, OneSkin's OS01 peptide is proven to target the cells that cause the visible signs of aging. And for a limited time, OneSkin is making it even easier to stay consistent with up to 30% off your first 3 months of your subscription order. So when you use the code Gabby Reece, one word, at oneskin.co, that's oneskin.co/Gabby Reece, that's up to 30% off with the code Gabby Reece. After you purchase, you want to tell them that you heard about them here on the podcast, feel free to do so. And I looked at all that you're doing. It's a lot of work.
Too many things.
Yeah. So how do you, what's the grounding? And I know you have a family, and I think that has such a powerful grounding element, but there has to be some things before that you have to do for yourself.
Yeah.
In order to be there for your wife, for your boys, for your business, for your craft, for, even for the amount of energy that you put to communicating online, all of it. What are your grounding practices that help you so you can be all those things in all those situations?
Yeah. I think you do need to have a clear goal. And I think as time goes on, the dream of what you want changes into what's functional, and also when you become a family man, you go, okay, well, how do I make sure that I'm being responsible for my family? Yeah. Meaning, I would have used to, like, when I was a young actor, been like, well, I don't have any money, but something's going to come through. But you can't do that when you have 3 kids, you know. So you have to get like, okay, well, do I take a big boy job? Do I go and take a desk job? How can I make it through here in order to keep the creative dream alive and also be a responsible family man? And that all shifts. But I'd say what my basis is, well, I know that having a relationship with God is going to be my North Star no matter what. Because no matter what you build your house upon, whether it be money, creativity, being famous, whatever your goal is in that regard, it's not going to fulfill you. Like, whatever your God is, it will not fulfill you. Money is just not going to do it. It's not going to scratch the itch like you're hoping it will. Like, you know, throughout my life, I'm constantly having to remind myself, like, this isn't your God, Luke. And as much as you feel like it might be right now, like even when I met my wife, I was like, I'm so in love. She's just everything. And it's like, she actually is not everything. She's a person in your life. She can't be everything to you. She can't be your God, you know. When you're making money, it's so great to make money. When you don't have money, it's like, oh, money's everything. And it's like, you know, all those things. And people, you know, what's more common in this city that we live in now than to see successful people who are sad? Yeah. Like all of the things that they achieved actually didn't achieve them very much at all. Like it's just the most common thing in the world, but around here, more than anywhere, I'd say. And so, yeah.
Did you come into this relationship, or has this been something that was discussed in your family and has always been present in your life?
Oh, well, I was lucky enough to be born into a Christian family. My dad is a Presbyterian minister. Now, I say I'm lucky enough to be born into that environment, but most preachers' kids
they're radical
despise
too.
it. Yeah, they despise it. And I was lucky enough to be born to a great Christian father and Christian mum who were really like loved me and treated me really well, in a great family in as well. Like, you know, when I try to explain my family, because people hear that my dad is a minister and they go, oh, scary. And I'm like, actually, I'd say that my family are like the good kind. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but it's like
helpful, non-judgmental. People,
yeah,
I think
enjoyable to be around.
Yeah, the way it was. I think the way, you know, listen, obviously control and, you know, men get in there and muddle it up, but I moved from the Caribbean my junior year of high school, and I was put into a Christian school, and I met families that they just were really kind.
That's it.
Loving people.
Yes.
And they weren't really so interested with the length of your skirt. I mean, maybe in their house, their skirt was a little longer, but
sure,
it wasn't that was on you.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that.
And so I think I so clearly understand, because we sometimes think, oh yeah, it's all that, you know, the rules, and it's like, well, no, some people have a relationship and they use it to help guide their life, connect their family, have humility, you know, understand the laws. You know, somebody said that to me once. They go, oh, you know, you seem really humble. I go, oh yeah, no, I know the rules. And I think when we know the rules, when being small is really helpful. Being small, living humbly and small makes us, I think, a lot happier.
Yes.
And clear. So when you're thinking about your boys, they're little, so I think there's a you know, maybe a playful element to it. How would you pass that on for them in their own discovery?
Yeah. I think the hardest thing about the reason that I left Christianity at one point and then came back to it, unlike my brothers and sisters who
stayed locked in,
went to Bible college, married, I think my 3 sisters, they all married ministers. Whoa. So like they love it and they're into it and they're so authentically that.
Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting.
I know, it's incredible. But I went my own way. Obviously, I came to Hollywood and wasn't a Christian for a time there. And what I didn't appreciate about being brought up in the church was there were just things that were said to me, which I was just like, I'm just not quite ready for that yet. Like the fact that a God became human and died for me and then rose again. I'm like, I'm 4.
Yeah.
Like, what do I know of this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I need to be saved at this age. And I can't even fathom what the hell you're talking about. So then it's repeated and repeated and repeated until you're like, it means nothing to me. Like, what does that mean? God became man, died for me, rose again. I'm like, that's just words to me. Like, I can't possibly fathom what the hell you're talking about in a deep way at that age, and then have it be repeated to you my whole life until you just like.
It's almost like background noise sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, totally.
Yeah.
I listen to my mum is an incredible woman, but when I listen to her pray, she uses all the words, the jargons.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. Even now, like, you know.
I like the freewheeling praying where it's
Right.
like it occurs to you, you're inspired. You know, I heard a great thing actually about praying, which is sometimes when we pray, we're asking. And I talked to somebody, a scientist actually, who was saying, sometimes I pray and I just listen.
Yeah, that's great to ask and see. And also the answers aren't given to us in the way that we think that they're going to be given to us. Like the way our lives unfold is the answer so much of the time. So that you can look back and go, oh, he did answer. God did answer there.
Yeah.
Rather than, I think that's good to stop and listen, to ask questions. The way that it should be is like you take everything in prayer. You might think it's silly and stupid and it's like, oh, that's not worth God's time. I was really bad at prayer for a long time. I was like, this is so weird. Like, I'm like, why am I speaking it or thinking it? Like, he can just read my mind. So why am I doing this? It seems performative. And I would watch other people pray. I'm like, it seems performative. And then I'm like, okay, now I can understand it. As I grew up, I was like, it's something to talk to. Something to take everything to. And then when you speak it out loud and then you see the results of that, like when you see answers come to you. Like I asked for patience, one of the worst mistakes of my life.
Yeah, because you got it. How did you survive during this? You know, I'm sure there's part of you that's exaggerating about a 7-year drought of work, but
No.
Is that for real?
No acting work for 7 years. Yeah, no. I was,
not even like beefcake commercial, like flex in the background, run down the beach.
Yeah, I guess from time to time I'd get something really small, but I was like, essentially, I couldn't make too much money from anything other than acting because of my visa, but I would still work as a busboy. So I worked as a busboy at a bar for a long time in Hollywood, picking up glasses and stuff like that. We call it glassies in Australia, but in America you call it busboy. And so I was a busboy, and then I was an Uber driver. Too tall for it.
I was just thinking that, but I didn't want to say it.
So tall, just too tall for it. Like I was just like, this is not good for my body.
These are the moments, right? Like people talk about faith, and like, What are you when you're putting your head on the bed at night? What are you thinking, like about this process? If you're if you're being a busboy or driving an Uber, how's like the state of your heart at that time?
If I'm honest, what kept me alive, hope-wise, at that point was knowing that I was good, even though my bank account wasn't looking good. Like I knew I was special. I knew I had a bone in my body that was really good at this, and if I just stuck at it, it would work out. And I think part of the success that I've had is because I've stuck it out. Like I've seen people ever since 2020 in particular, a lot of actors have just dropped off. The industry changed and they're like, I'm living check to check in LA and now I could be homeless. I think I'm going to go back to Ohio.
Yeah.
You know? And so a lot of that change, it separated the wheat from the chaff. Mm-hmm. And I stuck at it and was lucky enough to, have enough work coming into 2020 that I was like, no, I'm sticking at it. I'm going to keep going undoubtedly. And yeah, what would keep me going at that time was like, I know I'm good. I know I'm just haven't been seen for the right thing yet. I just have to keep going. On top of that, you have to be good. So like, there was times early on in my career when I look at some of the opportunities that I had that I didn't get. And I was like, you just weren't good enough for that. Like you weren't ready for that. Yeah. And now it's different. Now I'm like, I am good enough. I'm ready for things.
It's funny. You saw my friend Brian Bone Smith, right? Before you got here.
Yep.
And he was talking about being said, like, you're just not ready yet. Mm-hmm. You will be, but you're not right now. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting. How we can't, it's very hard to leapfrog often. I mean, every once in a while you hear stories, people have a look or it's something occurs or it's really their thing and they just, okay.
Totally.
But I think for most of us, it's a step by step.
Yeah, I think so too. There are people that you hear about, like Timothy Chalamet is a person in my industry that I don't think he's ever tried to act. He's just fantastic.
Yeah, I think he might have, he's a New York City acting kid.
Right. Well, but it's
And
like
he has
it's
the
like
look and
we used to hear in acting class was like Marlon Brando just does it. Everyone else has to learn.
yeah.
And
Yes, yes, yes.
Charlemagne reminds me of that
Yeah.
because I don't think he's ever had to really try.
And he's smaller than you. Just saying.
That's the only thing that I have over him at this point.
Just saying. In a job like that where you have ambition and like ego, like how are you calibrating? Because you need a little bit of ego to be like, I can do it. I can get out there. I can, act in front of people and auditions. And ambition, how did you kind of house that and keep that in a place that it stayed productive for you?
So I think, yeah, you're right. You need it's like I imagine what it would be like for you when you go and play volleyball. You need a certain level of confidence to know, like, I can do this. I can win here today.
Yeah,
I can crush this.
You gotta have a little bit.
And I've done it before, so I'm going to do it again now. Like, and having that belief is really good. And then having the humility to know that this is just an experience that we're having. You're not better than anybody else. And, in the end, we're all going to die anyway. So, it's like confidence for the performance and then shut the hell up about who you might think that you are. You think I think that you can be, you just, when you deliver a great performance that's going to, bring you money and maybe some fame and success, it's very easy to go, I'm God now. And it's like, I'm incredible. I'm unbeatable. People love me. And it's like, doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter. You're going to die.
Yeah, you are. And I always think about that, like think about all the kingdoms that have fallen in the past. It's like they had their face on the money.
Yeah.
And my kids don't know who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, they
totally.
might if they were in a history book, but
Totally.
It's sort of like we can't take it too serious. Where you're sitting right now, I'm just curious what surprised you about kind of maybe these last 3 to 5 years? Like, are you like, whoa, that's so surprising? And I don't mean two more children from the first child.
In regards to parenting, like, it is incredible how much you can love something. I had no idea.
You didn't?
No, because I was like, okay, I know what it's like to love my wife, but also the love is just so different. I feel like it is the first time I've experienced, from me, unconditional love. A love that's like, if my wife cheated on me, like, okay, love's over now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my kids, like, I love them so much, doesn't matter what they do, I love them. And I've never experienced that coming from myself. So that's one thing I've learned over the last 3 to 5 years. And outside of that is just the ongoing journey and how whenever you think it's going to get easier, it does not. Or if you're in the game to get to the destination, you're going to be greatly disappointed. Like it's going to give you more paths, more journeys. Whereas I think if you can recalibrate and reframe so that you're in it for the journey itself, I think that's going to help you.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing where you said, it sort of becomes hard. I think you even learn a little, just in a little bit longer, because as the kids get bigger, the learning accelerates. Like now you're tired and you're just reorganizing toys and food everywhere. And then they get older and it's like, oh, I have to look at this whole story differently. Like the notion of they're going to be who they are, right? It'd be like your parents going, our youngest, I guess he's an actor, like I'm making it up, but it's like you didn't follow whatever the rules were.
Yes.
You had a path. And it's so interesting as a parent to really fully, wholly embrace, wow, I don't know that I would choose that, but that's their thing. Or that looks like it's going to be kind of hard. And you don't want that either for them. And so there's so many interesting tones of when you realize kind of that's how life is.
And you kind of got to release, like in regards to those journeys that they're going on, you're like, that looks kind of hard. But it's like you kind of have to go, oh gosh, I'm actually not in control of your life anymore. Like I used to maybe when you were younger.
Yeah.
Now
well,
you're like,
your kids at this age, and now your oldest is moving, just going to start moving where it's like, oh, this is my voice.
Yeah.
But so they were, oh yeah, I have my one of my daughters went through a phase, I couldn't stand it, of and this is like child's play. I mean, they've done radical stuff, they've done dangerous things, they've done really stupid things. I think we've had arrests involved. Like I've seen it all, right? and one of them, this is like a fun one. She went through an eyelash phase.
Oh,
the fake eyelash phase, and I was like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. And you learn, like, just don't worry about it. And then she held on to it pretty good, couple of years. And then later she was like, look at your picture. She's like, oh my God, how did you let me do that? I go, come on, you had to go through it.
Totally.
You know, so it's like really this learning of you don't say anything. And you just go, well, they're not hurting themselves or anyone else. It's a form of expression. You know, it's totally fine. So, you know, in your physical fitness, because I want to get back to your business, this feels like a cornerstone to your life is your health.
Yeah.
So even though your occupation, actor, okay, these things, where did you get that from?
The great thing about being vain is that you love to work out and you discover a passion, and then it slowly goes away because you realize maybe you're not as cute as you once were, and but I still love the idea that you can manipulate your body to do what and train it to do things and to achieve looks and like things like that. So I've always loved being healthy, and I've gone through all the phases. You know, I was maybe a bit of a vegetarian, keto at one point. Like I've gone through all the phases along with the streams of media, whatever's happening I'm like, I'm going along with it. You know, love the fads, and then. And so it's been really fun to just kind of come to an equilibrium now of like, oh, okay, I think that this is my area, and I really like, eating whole foods and speaking about kind of like the easiest way to health. Like, I think that's kind of like the road that I like to take. The less judgy, more like, okay, what's the minimum amount somebody has to do to feel good? Not to be healthy, but to feel good. Like, it's like, because that's what I think it's more about than longevity and living forever. I'm like, how good can you feel for as long as possible?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Quality and lifespan. And what about with the kids? Because a lot of parents go like, I want them to eat these foods and this and that. Do you guys have you figured out, and again, you have a new baby, but at least with the older two, are you just sort of rolling with it? Like, how are you guys dealing with navigating now being parents and trying to pass that on?
Totally. Like the first son, you're like, so like, okay, liver, you're going to be having liver and ghee on sourdough, and like, and then the second one comes along, like, and then actually it's really all over since the second one. It is really hard not to just go for convenience. And I've had to say to my wife and my mother-in-law a few times, like, hey, let's keep the standard high. Like, I know that it just gets easy to go and get something sometimes, but it's like, let's try and keep the standards high, because the world is any place that you like to take your kids, whether it be the zoo or Universal Studios or Disney, like just look at what there's offering up there. There's nothing there. No. And so like trying to keep standards high is hard, but I think that it's worthwhile, because before you know it, like 20 to 50% of their diet is like, bam, ultra processed foods. And not only that, like stuff that like you shouldn't be eating in amounts that to a little body like this, like is like probably super detrimental. Like, so that where did we go last week? We were at, we went to Universal Studios, and the day before that we went to the beach, and at Venice Beach all along there is just like fast food. Which fast food do you want? And so it was like chicken tenders and fries 2 days in a row. And I was like, that's it. We can't do this anymore. They're little bodies.
Yeah.
Like it's so confused. Imagine it's so confusing to adult bodies, let alone those little bodies, what the hell those foods, Frankenfoods are and what they do to us. And so like, you got to keep the standard high, even though it's hard.
Yeah. And what about as a couple? Because I can just tell by even the way you say your wife's name, like, I really appreciate it when you can tell someone adores someone. I think it's one of the nicest thing when I meet somebody and the way they say their partner's name, you go, oh, they adore their partner.
Yeah.
You hope that for people.
Yes.
You really do. What have you learned now that you've added 3 kids in a pretty short period of time? How do you defend the relationship? How do you guys... listen, it's unrealistic when people talk about date night. Most people don't want to, they're usually tired that night. We used to joke that like, if everyone's asleep, somehow you're having sex in the closet for 6 minutes because that's the only place where there's at least one barrier between you and the whole world. How have you guys, because I think this is what's hard for a lot of couples, because it's like you're serving the family, It is chaotic. It's absolutely worth it. But how do you defend the thing that is the couple?
Yeah.
You know, not just be mommy and daddy, you know, and that part of it, but just even the thing that's between the two of you.
Yeah. So my third son his name's Buzz, and he's only 3 months old now. So we're in the middle of figuring this out.
Yeah.
But what we have found is that like at 8 o'clock when the other two are asleep and Buzz is asleep with us.
He can't walk yet.
Exactly.
What's he doing? Where's
okay.
Buzz going?
He doesn't. If he heard us having sex,
He
I
doesn't
would not
know.
mind.
It's like in front of the dog. It doesn't matter.
Totally. And so yeah, like that's a great time for us to connect, to watch movies, to talk if we need to. I do feel like it's very easy to go, oh well, because there's nothing allotted there, then that's my time to look at my phone. You know, because you've waited all day, you've got off your phone in order to work, got off your phone to order to be with your kids. And then now it's just you two. It's like, well, now it's my time to go on my phone, you know? And so that's the temptation. And if you can get around that, great. I do feel like, yeah, it is hard to have sex, especially after 3 and the chaos and how much they sap your energy.
Yeah.
But obviously it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's so, for me particularly, like, I'm like, it means the world to me. And so like, I as long as we try really hard and we talk about it a lot. And my expectations have gone right down in a really good way because I think I was I'm so in love with my wife. I want to have sex with her all the time. And at some point you go, yeah, with now 3 kids, like give it a rest. And weirdly, ever since I've done that.
Oh yeah. She's sniffing around.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, it's energy. It's the same thing. Oh no. Wait, where are you? I mean, that's how we work as I think as human beings.
Right.
It's just the way it is. You know, it's interesting. I've been with Laird for 30 years and you would think that the female sets the heart or the tone of the family. And in a certain way she does. But in a really interesting opportunity is when a man, I think, can love his wife in an adoring way. He can create such an interesting and wonderful tone to the house. Mm-hmm. Because when she feels that, then it's kind of all okay. You know, like I got baby spit up on me and, this toy over there and, this kid's telling me no and I haven't really slept really in a while. Mm-hmm. But when you feel adored and appreciated by your partner in this dynamic, I think it can give women a lot of power. And then what they don't realize is, and then if that man has that stillness you're talking about, you'll be like, you want to sneak away? You want to sneak away? Mm-hmm. And I always think though, you can't be offended if you have to schedule. When your kids get older too, you'll start scheduling sex. And I was talking to a doctor about this, Mindy Pels, and it's like, hey, that doesn't sound sexy, but sort of like once you get going, it doesn't really matter.
True.
But it's like you have to carve out this time. Otherwise it's never going to happen, ever.
That scheduling makes a lot of sense to me, but also I want to say, like, before we got in here and we're outside in the kitchen and you were talking to Laird, and I felt the same thing between you guys. Like he was showing you his surfboard that had broken or something, and then he looks at you and goes, "Oh damn, look at you!" And I'm like, that is so great. Like I just love that.
Laird's a genius, though. I have to tell you, he as much of a caveman as he is, he's a genius. Because anytime your partner can make you operate in your best self. And I think that if I have somebody that I really respect and admire, who does adore me, it's like, hey, whatever you want. Here's your dinner. Here's your thing. I'm like, this guy's a genius. You know, and I always say I don't talk to anyone better than I talk to Laird. So
he's a genius because of the way in which he like knows you, cares about you, and provides for you.
Yes, and that energy is only for me.
Oh.
He's not walking around going, hey, ladies, looking great. You know, it's like there's a specific energy that is only for me. And then you really cherish it because you know it's only for you.
Yep.
And so you feel special, but you also, you treasure that.
I have this terrible habit of like starting to nickname people something like, so I call every guy daddy. And including my own sons, which is so silly, but it's like, why am I calling you daddy? I'm your daddy. And then I got into like calling people queen as well.
Yeah, of course.
And it started with my wife, and then it was like, okay, now everyone's queen. And it's a terrible habit because it's like, nothing's reserved for her. Like, but there's certainly like, my energy she's like, you're so ridiculous in your energy for me, because I'm just like, oh my God, look at you. I can't believe, I grit my teeth.
But that's a powerful thing, though. And I think sometimes we lose our playfulness because we do. We get bogged down, and you have responsibilities, and you have you have new businesses and things. And if you can just keep carving out those little spaces of playfulness, but I still always think it does start with us individually knowing how to make ourselves happy, because no one can make you happy. They can enhance your life. They can make you have happy moments, but that's still always on us. And I think that seems to really show up. And they tell us like, oh, we're going to be engaged in a relationship, and then it'll be that other person's responsibility to make us happy. Like, well, if he does this, then I'll do that, or I'll feel this. And it's like, actually, no, totally. It never happens. So
it's like what I said before about like people think that their partners are their gods. They make their partners their gods, and it's like, your God's going to let you down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a list of things I've blown over the years, I can tell you. This podcast is brought to you by Timeline, and they have an incredible new product called MitoPure Gummies. So I've been taking Timeline for years because of an ingredient called urolithin A. We're going to get into that. Well, MitoPure Gummies are the first ever longevity gummies that support your cellular energy so you can feel stronger, more clear, and just vibrant all year long. So they are the only clinically proven urolithin A, there's that word, gummy that helps renew your cells, powerhouses, your little battery. So you can show up just to your best, whether it's, now or just all the decades to come. So some of the benefits are: it gives yourself more power to fuel your day, supports steady, sustained energy. It helps your body turn stress into usable energy. I'm always working on that. And it just makes it less complicated. They taste great. They're easy. I just have them in my cabinet. I take 2. One of my daughters takes them all the time. And it is clinically shown to support muscle strength and function. This is the thing that for me personally, as I get older, this is something I'm looking for: muscle strength. So it targets a key hallmark of aging, those mitochondrial decline, those batteries. So you can use it for your workout. It's a clean formula, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, sugar-free, and allergen-free. Really important, clean label project, and NSF certified. They've got all the bases covered, and it is the #1 doctor recommended urolithin A supplement on the market. They have an incredible offer for you. I love sharing these. So you don't have to let another minute go by. Don't want to feel less than your best. Grab 35% off your 1-month subscription of MitoPure Gummies at timeline.com/Gabby35. That's timeline.com/Gabby35 while the offer lasts. So how long ago did you start? And I know it was like the interest of like, hey, I assume it's like, I would like a product like this, and they don't make it.
Yeah.
When did you get this epiphany?
I think I was at my co-founder Anya's. I was at her house in 2022. It's taken us a long time to get it all done and figured out. We're still figuring it out. And we were out, she was cooking over the fire as she does, and she was stirring up some eggs. And I was like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to create a perfect ingredient protein shake. And Anya's a former cheesemaker, and Fresh Whey, which is the basis of our drink, it's a result of the cheese making process. So milk, you raise milk in temperature and you add an enzyme to it that separates it, a digestive enzyme, and fat and casein goes into one, coagulates, and then everything else left over from the milk is fresh whey. And she was like, well, I make cheese and the leftover of cheese is fresh whey. What if we added an isolate to it? This is like literally when I said it. What if we added an isolate to it and like a flavoring and a good sweetener? And I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. And then within a few weeks, she was on it too. She was like, I'm into this. And she just made it up, and we were drinking, and we're like, let's do it. Let's go. And you want to operate at a pace that, really the world is not ready for. And is like, well, slow down. How are we going to possibly do this? What's the flavors going to be like? How are we going to formulate it? What are the calories, for instance, that you've probably not thought about yet? All those things.
Yeah, right.
And so the world slows you down appropriately, like having to find manufacturers and bottles and all this stuff. All the annoying parts of business.
It's so unsexy.
Very unsexy. You're
like, I see it. Can't you just do it?
Yes.
And you're in cold chain, so it's a whole other extra thing.
Fresh is really, really hard. But again, if I wanted to make money really quickly, I could have just made some ultra processed bar and been like Luke's bar and been like, and then and it would last like on a shelf for 3 years, and like it's like I just do what everyone else is doing, and so I've the difficulty of the business is what's special about the business. It's fresh, it's special, it goes off, it spoils like milk does, and so it'll either be the end of us or it'll be the start of something really beautiful.
So what has sort of shown up on your plate, like when you're at home pondering sort of, oh, okay, before you're thinking about, okay, auditions and your family, what are things now that you're like, I can't believe I've just spent 2 hours thinking about X, now that I have Shakewell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is surprising you?
Yeah, I do think about Shakewell all the time, and what I really want to think about, what I think about a lot is, how do I communicate that this is good to people? Like, how do I communicate without making them feel bad about themselves? Health is very judgmental. Like the way that like, if you're eating this, you're, what are you doing? People walking in the grocery aisles, like holding up things, and if you're eating this, you're an idiot. It's like, it just makes people feel awful. And so it's a terrible place to enter health through, is the door of shame of like, oh gosh, I guess I need to get better. And people really react poorly to it also. So I'm like, how can I communicate in a fun way, how people can be as healthy as possible without judging them or making them feel shame? And so I really think about that. And comedy's one way. Like, comedy's a great way of letting people know that something's good without making them feel like, oh gosh, I'm doing everything wrong.
You have a lot of fun. And can we talk about your mother-in-law, please?
Oh, hell yeah. Tracy?
God, she's amazing.
My mother-in-law is a beautiful, big, Maori woman. Maori, my wife is a Maori.
I knew she was Maori, or at least maybe partial.
She's I think she's half Maori, but
Yeah.
full Maori in heart.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so-
when I saw her, I was like, this guy is so lucky that's his
Oh my God.
mother-in-law.
She's terrific. She really is an amazing. I couldn't have wished for a better mother-in-law. She's down. She wants to have fun.
She totally does. She's in your
Yeah.
skits. I encourage anyone to go to your Instagram and watch your skits. You do. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to be a little cheeky without going too far. Like, it's fun. Where do you get all these ideas from?
I guess I'm just truly just a very creative person. I'm always thinking, and eventually, content for people who are just starting out obviously is quite difficult. But once you get the muscle going,
Yeah.
you can't stop. It's actually annoying. Like, I wish I could take a break sometimes, honestly, because I'm just like always having ideas for new stuff. And as well as that, when you have an idea, the best thing you can possibly do is to act on it. Don't let it fall away. Like, it's like, so I know that I've been given a special something. It's a bit of creativity that I can go and get my juices out, let's just say. And I'm glad that I've been given the gift, but it also can be exhausting. Has its own level of like, oh gosh, I'm tired of this.
You know what I was thinking though when I was watching it? It's like one of those things where you were saying, like, if it's for you, you'll get it. And what's interesting is, like, to watch you, not everyone can pull that off. Like, it's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of your things.
Yes.
That you can do that. And I was just curious if now, weirdly, you've gotten other opportunities because of all the ass kicking that you're doing online.
I think so. Yeah. So, my day job that I also have is I coach founders how to make content. An e-commerce business. So any e-commerce business can work with this coaching business, and I talk to founders about how to make content better than what they make it. I essentially teach people how to communicate as best they can creatively so that they can sell their products better. And so, like, that's essentially what I've learned over the time. I mean, I really am like deeply creative. Like, I didn't want to ever be like one-dimensional in my creativity, where you're just an actor. Mm-hmm. Like, the great thing about social media is it's given everybody an opportunity to kind of test out things. Like, maybe I want to make dancing content. Maybe I want to make sketches. Maybe I want to make this. Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do lip syncs. And all that creativity is really good, and it's fun, and you get to go and test new things out. So I've done all that, and one thing I've come away with is I'm like, this is teachable, actually. Like, you can actually teach this to people and get them to kind of be thinking in a creative way, and then sell their products through that.
Do you approach, like, if they have a food versus a sweatshirt, like, or is it just, what does that look like? Like, what are some of the things that you're encouraging people to look at it differently?
Well, a lot of founders come to me all with different things. So, like, apparel, consumer packaged goods, mm-hmm. all this different stuff. And what I'm essentially teaching them to do is just to communicate as quickly as possible what the hell their product does within the first 3 to 5 seconds of their ads.
That's my favorite.
Right.
You know, it's like, for me, as someone my age, you just hear that and you just go, oh God, we're in trouble.
Well, so I think a lot of people overthink things and they think they have to be super creative all the time. And also, like, the way that TV commercials used to be was like, okay, 30 seconds, you have 30 seconds to sell me something. And usually you'll want to do it through a sketch or a scene, and you have to wait 30 seconds to find out what the product is. Whereas on social media, you have attention for this long. And so what are you going to do? Are you going to try and do a sketch and then at the end you're going to tell me what the product is? People aren't going to watch for that. So tell me in the first 3 to 5 seconds what the hell your product is and what's great about it. And that's the general deal of how you make great ads. And then how you make good creative is kind of different to that. It's like, how do I entertain people while selling? And so there's kind of two different ways of doing things.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? Because it's so interesting that just based on, and do you think you're here because you were doing it for Shakewell and now you've got this whole other skill set?
No. So what I started to do was I was given an opportunity by a founder in Australia to make ads for him for his furniture business. And I was like, and I'd figured out, because he was like, can you make comedy content for me? And I was like, sure. And it went so well that he had me do 9 television commercials for him. So he's like, you did a great job on the small ones. Let's see on a big one, $200,000 budget, like make it happen. And so I shot actually just up here, some great TV commercials that did really, really well. And then ever since then, people are like, great, we need you to write and direct this commercial, please. And people come to me to do that. And then brands come to me to do it as well. And yeah, that's just a skill that I've learned over time. Well, it's like, okay, so if you can write and you can make entertaining creative, well, then you may as well use that to sell things in order to make enough money to feed your family.
Yeah.
But I like to think that I do it in a way that doesn't insult the viewer. So it's like, it's not.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like, that's why I said, I even love, like, I see your mother-in-law or, you know, the back of a kid's head or something. Like, it feels intimate, but it feels still structured.
Yeah.
Like, it feels thoughtful, but it still feels like, you know, not overly produced.
Yes.
It's both. It's a really sweet spot.
You ever watch commercials and you feel icky after? You're like, oh.
Well, I mean, come on. Sometimes you're like, how did they get this approved? How much money did they spend to make it? Most television, because on this rare occasion, like let's say you're watching a sporting event, so you see commercials, because nowadays who sees commercials?
Very rarely, yeah.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
There's no more thought into it.
Yeah.
And you think, 16 people approved that.
Yes.
And then they threw a bunch of cheese at it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So the way that works is they'll go to a creative agency. They'll be like, you got any ideas for us? And they're like, yeah, we've got a great idea. How about this? And the people in the suits at the company are like, yeah, could we taper that down? People might be offended by that, until it becomes this like sterile version of what it once was in a creative's mind. And that's what we see on TV is a mixture of the creative, but mostly the corporate pushing down the creative to make it as boring as possible and sterile as possible so that it doesn't offend anyone and people go and buy their stuff.
So like philosophically, when you approach it, because you have a skill, right? You can act, you're naturally funny, you can sing, you're attractive, you have like all these cards in your deck that would make it easy for you to just do that. So let's say I'm a founder and I'm a regular person and I'm not a performer. That's not my thing. And maybe they'll get somebody. So how would you encourage people when they're trying to approach how to be the person who's selling it if it's not natural or native to them? Yeah. How to do that? Well,
the first thing that you have to that I would tell a founder who's like not a performer and maybe has never been in front of the camera is that like it's a great idea to get in front of the camera, because people are more likely to buy from people nowadays, because trust in brands, trust in any organization is way down. Whether it be government, like trust in brands is way down. People want to buy from people, and they want to buy from people that they like, and they also want to buy from people who know what they're talking about. So you represent that probably for your brand. Like, you know.
So to have confidence in that, at least to start there with it.
You're an authority and you're a person. And if they have a problem with your product, they can come to a real person and talk about it. They're not going to get on customer service, right?
Yeah.
And that makes people feel better about their purchase. But also it's just going to be about practice. Getting in front of the camera is not easy, but if you do it after time, and I've seen people be really bad and then over time just like kind of relax and then all of a sudden have some fun and then their sales go like that. And you're like, oh, terrific. Like, and it is within all of us. And I don't think, and there aren't many founders who shouldn't be making content for their own company. They should nearly all be making content.
What an interesting thing. 10 years ago, this wasn't even a job.
I know.
It's so cool.
200 years ago, I was thinking about this today. I was like, I have these dreams in my career, in my life, that people didn't have 200 years ago. Like did people have career dreams 200 years ago? Like really, people went to war and you were kind of the thing that your dad was. That's what you were going to be, you know?
Yes.
And so almost like this dream thing seems actually like pure privilege, but not in the four-letter word type of privilege. Like just like,
yeah,
it's crazy that we get to do it and that no one else in history basically ever had the chance to.
Yes, that's right. And it's funny because we've moved away from other things, so now we have to navigate food, but yet somehow we get to have, dreams about professions.
Yes.
Right. So we now we have to be conscious about eating real foods or supplement with things like Shake Well, but we get to have these dreams.
Yes.
Right. In all of your occupation, what would you call that occupation? When somebody hires you to come and do it, what is the title of that? Is there...
I guess I'm a creative coach.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What a great title.
It's a great title.
If you were single still and you'd be at a party, can you imagine how that would land? What do you do?
Well, I just wouldn't want her to think that like I'm not a creative coach for like influencers. Like I'm not here to help you with your personal content. Like
it's like, no, you're talking about brands. I get it.
Yeah.
So in these buckets, actor, Shake Well, all these things, what's the thing that you kind of geek out the most? Like when it's going well, is there something at this time in your life that it's just the most satisfying?
I honestly geek out about, I don't geek out about content. I geek out about acting. I love storytelling, and I love listening to actors talk about the process, or watching directors and actors figure out a performance on set. Like that gets me going. And I don't even think I love nutrition science anymore. Like I don't really give a crap. I'm like, I find it all a lot of noise, and too many people have podcasts now. Sorry. And that is not about you.
Wow, it's okay. I don't get offended.
No, I really mean, I feel like there's a lot of noise in a lot of spaces. And so it kind of takes me back to, I love art. Like I love creativity. I like telling a story for the story's sake. And I think that's what really gets me going still. And so like, I think that's still like what I love more than anything else in regards to my career. But I also just generally love being creative. So I'm happy the way things are.
I will say this, speaking again about Brian, he was talking about he has friends that when they were young actors, they actually, when they got into the dad age, started to kick ass because there were so many hunky young guys. But then like they either quit, aged out, maybe whatever. But that once they started playing the dads that time, that's when their careers actually even did better.
Yeah. And that's interesting. And also I think you become more of a man. Like, and that reads on camera, like, oh, you're a man. Like you're a man now. You've been through stuff. You know what it means to be responsible for other people.
Yeah.
I think it's ultimately like sexy.
I think I've always said this, that around 40, could be younger, could be older, I think men start getting really interesting. You know, when a man's able, I call it male wisdom, but when a man also can be with a younger man and be like, you go, then you go, oh, that's the man. The guy who has to be first and has to win and let me show you and I'll lift that and do that. You go, oh, he's still doing that.
Yes.
But from a woman's point of view, when the guy's like, Laird used to joke, I have a cousin, Chuck, who's a great athlete. He's a lot younger than us. And he would just like, Chuck would be trying to get out the river and paddle and go. And he's like, oh my God, Laird would just be like the testosterone, just get him out of here. And I'm like, oh, there's the young man. And there's the man.
In what I do, I like to watch people who are really funny, let other people be funny. So like when people, I'm like, I know that's the funniest person in the room, but they'll be like, they want other people to get involved. And they're like, they can let other people have a turn. Yeah. I always think that's super admirable. And,
how about when they kind of also pitch them a couple balls, like egg them up, set them up, and be like, it's like when someone's telling a story and you go no, and they go yeah, you know, it's like someone who can also be like, you're funny, and I'm gonna help you even be funnier. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
It's a really, really powerful thing when we realize that the strength is in,
lifting others up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So. Am I wrong that you had the Zaddy Zone?
Like, oh, yeah, I had a podcast.
Yeah, what's going on there? Would it go for like a year?
Yeah,
And then
like
you had another kid, and what
like
was
a
going
year,
on?
and then I was just
Tell me about the thought about, it was just a creative experiment?
yeah, it was a really good failure. Like it was a good fail.
What does
Like,
that
it
mean,
was
a failure to you?
it was a good shot. Like it was like, okay, let's try something new. And I guess if I'd kept going, just like anything, if you just keep going, I think it'll snowball into success or even more of a failure. I think if I could have kept going, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
So I just really wanted to make I really wanted to make podcasts that were like mostly about health and wellness, that were like easy to listen to and non-judgmental. And I was doing that, and then I was just like, this all the time I'm spending here, and you don't really make any money, and I really need to be focused on that right now. And I also wasn't enjoying it, so
weren't?
No. I really loved talking to people, and I learned so much, but eventually you kind of go, well, do you love this enough to keep going, to suffer through it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to suffer through something like this.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I just love the idea that you tried it.
I tried it.
Yeah. Another creative expression.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah. But I also get to talk to a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
And, I've been interviewing people since 1992.
Wow.
Yeah. I've always liked, I think because when I came out and I was playing ball, a lot of it was about me. And there was something that happened to me when it was not about me, that I really liked that element in my life, where my job was to highlight, learn about, and ultimately like learn from, and maybe even make look good somebody else.
Yeah.
That really, I always liked it. So,
And but honestly, being good at asking questions is one of the best skills you can learn as a person. Like just get good at asking what you want to know about.
yeah.
And do it over and over again until like you have conversations with people and you're like, they didn't ask me one question. And that happens sometimes, but great socializers will be like, I've been talking about myself. What about you? Tell me about you.
Yeah, they redirect.
So my we had a family member recently come stay who's an 18-year-old girl. Like she's not a woman. She's very much a girl. And I would call her a woman if she was better at this. But at some point I was like, I just have to give you a piece of advice. Like you need to ask questions. You seem disinterested. And me and Cara, we've done a lot of things that you have not done. Like we live in America and you live in there, and you haven't asked us one question about ourselves. Like you have a lot to figure out, and you can start just by like asking the people around you general questions. Like we drove past a film set, and I go, look, there's a film set, and she goes, oh, and I'm like, you are from small town New Zealand. Like
the phone.
Yeah, the phone. Yeah,
the phone. It is just the phone.
Yeah.
Because it's always coming at you.
Yes.
You don't really engage with it.
Yes.
So it dampens your ability. Because also, I've seen everything.
Right.
In a way.
Yeah, totally.
I haven't seen it for real.
Yes.
But it's like some version of it. I've
Yeah,
seen a
you're
movie
right.
set here.
Totally,
It's
totally.
Like, no, but it's here.
Yeah.
There's real people.
Yeah, I hadn't
There's
thought about that.
Yeah, it's really something I think they have to fight. It's very interesting.
God, our lives, like as in our early 20s, was really not as stimulating as it is for them.
Or we were stimulated by much simpler things.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you seeing a movie set, you'd be like, whether you were into acting or not, you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool. That's how they make stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of dimming their spark, actually.
I think so. But
Yeah.
I think that there's always a chance. I think if you raise your kids long enough without it, actually I have a great book. I'll give it to you, called Digital Delusion.
Is it Jonathan Haidt?
No, but he's like Jonathan. It's Horvath. He
okay.
does the mechanism part of like Jonathan's work.
Oh, I see.
Jonathan wrote a blurb in there, but his is more like a cultural kind of plea. This is the mechanisms and why it does or doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't, but because he talks about learning being relational. Period.
Right.
It's relational, and so there's ways ed tech you can use it to bring it in, and it can help, but it's why we just have to be careful. I partially homeschooled some of my girls, and then my youngest requested to go to a school over the hill. So we did that. So I'm open to all the ideas, but
Yeah.
just sort of for a young parent to be aware of. Also, there's just things you can even opt out of as parents. That
Do you mean on the technology itself to opt out of certain
no, like
things?
even
or?
when if you send your kids to school,
Yep,
you
yep.
can sort of say, well, we're going to print their homework, so they have to work on paper and they have to write,
Got
versus
it.
just always being locked into the screen.
Yeah, totally.
So there's some interesting things in there. I'll give you the book before you go.
Sounds great.
This podcast is brought to you by Monocora Honey. Now, I know what you're thinking. Honey is just honey. Well, it's not. Let me explain. So the bees gather nectar from the manuka tea tree, and this is packed with bioactives that give this honey 3 times more antioxidants and prebiotics than regular honey. These help support your cells and gut, where most of your immune system actually lives. And they are ethically produced by Manacora's master beekeepers in the remote forests of New Zealand. I love it. It's winter time. Maybe you're dealing with colder weather. You can have it straight. They have a beautiful wooden spoon in this gorgeous jar. I just have it on my counter personally. Maybe you are traveling. They have single serves, so you can just pop one in your bag. And more time indoors, these nutrients really can become especially helpful. Now, I do take it another way. Yes, I use it to cut sweet tooth. So sometimes I might have a little bit of honey instead of getting something processed or just not as good for you. But one way that I love to take Monocora honey, and this is not their suggestion, it's mine, is I take it before bed. And there's a lot of benefits to it. So it's now easier than ever to try Monocora honey. All you have to do is head to manocora.com/Gabby Reece. That's MANUKORA.com/Gabby Reece, one word, to save up to 31% plus $25 worth of free gifts with a starter kit. So this comes with MGO 850 plus Manuka honey jar and 5 honey travel sticks. Those are the ones I was talking about. And they even give you the wooden spoon and a guidebook. So you can learn more about the honey and how to use it at manocora.com/Gabby Reece, and you will save 31% plus your $25 worth of free gifts. Enjoy. So I think you seem like a dreaming kind of person, which is really wonderful. Lucky you that you are a dreamer. And you wouldn't, maybe it's not quite as obvious with me, but I too have a thing of like, Laird and I heard a quote, never let your memories be greater than your dreams, right? This idea of like, well, what else is ahead of us?
Sure.
And I think for someone like you who has a lot of different talents, I'm just curious, as you're continuing to become all these other things, what are you really hoping? And I'm going to assume continue to be a great husband and father, but for you as an individual that like you'd like to experience.
I guess I would really like to know what it's like to I guess I would really like to know, I'm going to be honest, I think I'd really like to know what it's like to be a real success in Hollywood. I think I would really love to know what that feels like. And then to know that I don't want it, really. Like, the Jim Carrey thing is like, money's everything to people, and then you get it and you realize that it's not everything. It's kind of like that. I'd like to just know, thanks, if that's okay, what it's like to be a true big Hollywood success. Because I guess I've worked towards it my whole life.
Yeah.
It would be really poetic if it never worked out though. And if that never came to be. And I say this all the time, but if I am right where I am in 5 years, I'm okay with that. Like, I really like my life. I'm like full of joy, people who like love me, and we have fun. We laugh a lot. So I'm okay with everything the way that it is. 5 different jobs, 3 kids who are chaotic. This is like, and I'm on the hunt for something. Shakewell dies, acting like dies down. People don't want me to audition or even to be in their projects. It's like, life will go on. I feel like I am inherently joyous. And so I'm not really too worried about what the future may look like, but I'd really love to know what it's like to be a mega success.
I think but you know what, as an artist, right? Also, I would imagine, besides what mega success means, is I got the opportunity to work with that super talented director and that badass writer, and we made a really incredible piece of art.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I hear something like that, that's how I translate it, because I think walking around and getting attention, I think a lot of people don't realize that that's pretty overrated. But to do badass work with really talented people
Totally.
is
When you move up a step in Hollywood, that's the most fun.
that's
All of a
it.
sudden you're surrounded by really great people and they
Yeah.
elevate you. That's what's great about them. Like,
Yeah.
well, like we just talked about. But so like when you just get to work with some people, like I've worked with Al Pacino and Judith Light and all these great actors, and they elevate you, and you're like, wow, it's so weird because yesterday I was doing this shitty little short film down the road and it felt awful and I sucked. And then
Isn't that interesting?
here I feel like a star with you.
Yeah.
Because you're so great and you make me a better actor. You make me want to be a better actor. And it's so funny the way that these people elevate it all.
Yeah. Well, it's a quarterback that is top. Dan Marino. Okay, I don't know if you know who that is. Well, maybe you know him because of the Jim Carrey movies. But
Yes.
okay,
That's how I knew
cannot
that
believe
name.
that's my. But you know, he never won a Super Bowl. Maybe he never had an offensive line. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have enough receivers. He didn't get to be his greatest self because he didn't have the team. However that worked out.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about is really no different. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we can be made to look better or worse by the people that we're around.
But also Dan Marino's story is mostly interesting because he never got it, right?
That's what I mean. But it's not that interesting if you're Dan Marino.
Sure, but
Because his head
yeah.
looked like it was going to explode every game because he's so intense and wanted to win. And
Right.
is a great quarterback.
right.
Didn't have the team.
Yes.
Just wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
Makes it interesting for you and I. I'm sure Dan Marino's like, it's not that fucking interesting.
But
right?
his story goes down in the history in the footnotes. Like who were the
Who are the greats that didn't?
who were the greats at that time who did get the rings? And are we talking about them right now? Were they in Jim Carrey movies because they never got the
Oh my
the ring?
gosh. This is from a creative's point of view. Okay, I can tell you it's a little different.
Yes.
You're an athlete. You're like, don't care. If in this moment, what you know to be true as a pearl of wisdom as a husband, what do you know if a younger man was listening, that you go, you know, this I learned is really, it's a good tool to have.
Yeah. You'll want to give the answers and you'll want to try and find the problem and fix it. And that's the beautiful thing about you and being a man. But just clarify and ask, like, do you want me to give you the answers or would you just like me to listen? And you can feel free to, if you don't know, just ask. It's because women don't hate that. They'll be like, actually, yes, I would like you to listen. Or like, yeah, no, actually, could you help me figure it out? Be my chat GPT.
Yeah.
And so like I'm a fan of asking that question. And you know what we were talking about before, when it comes to choosing a mate, I do think I could have fallen into a few different traps with the wrong person, thinking that I was like, I don't think I've worked hard enough at this love. I think I need to work harder and make this work. And I think that that's like choking something and squeezing it for all it's worth. And I don't think that true love is without its work as well. But I think that you want to be looking for that connection that you go, this doesn't feel like we have to work at it. Like we have to like work at it, like grip the tools and try. Like I don't think it should feel like that, especially in the short term, in the first few stages. I don't think you should be working.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I so feel that way. I liken it to a rocket, and I go, man, first of all, if you can't help yourself, like for me, I am not that type of girl either. And whatever it was about Laird, I was like, yo, I cannot help myself. And I say it's like the rocket, that blast off, that you better have that much kind of juice because there's a long journey, God willing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're 6 months in and you're going to couples therapy, I don't know.
I know. That's a really great way of talking about it. There is a famous actor in Hollywood who has a podcast, and he talks about how in the first few months they went to couples therapy, and the way in which they've overshared over time on their podcast about their relationship. I'm like, everything sounds unhealthy to me that you guys are talking about.
Are they both performers?
Yeah.
No offense. Actors are oftentimes very complicated.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, you know, you're very like, I'm sure Cara is maybe, I don't know, but it's like, I think to have two performers.
Oh yeah, too much.
Be intense.
Yeah, too
Especially
much.
if they're really good at it, then they're really
Yeah, I mean,
complicated.
totally. And
So-
also like, well, like you don't want too outlandish extrovert performers. That just sounds like hell to me.
Yeah.
But those couple that what I'm talking about are.
Yeah, and going to therapy.
Totally. And then there's the Colin Firth actors. You know, the like really cute, quiet ones.
Yeah.
And you could probably maybe have like an outlandish actor and Colin Firth be together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, as a dad, you're tired. You know, I've had moments. I wake up and I'm like, I can't deal with my family. I love them so much. I just can't deal with them. But I'm going to put my pants on one leg at a time and I'm going to get out there and make breakfast, you know? That is sometimes a lot of what it is. And it doesn't have to do with love or gratitude. It just has to do with there's no off switch. And when they're little, they're not even independent.
Yeah.
Right? Like at least when they're teenagers, they're like, it locked themselves in their room for a little bit. You know, You're like, okay. What have you figured out a way to kind of re-gear up and say, okay, I'm ready? Have you figured out a way to energize yourself in that moment that I think we all face?
Yeah. So I think in the morning, that first thing in the morning is impossible. I don't know if there's any way to gear up. Like, however, so at home when I come, like when I finish work and I come downstairs and I'm like, okay, I'm going to dad mode now. No more emails, no more thinking about the phone. And I'm tired and a different kind of exhausted to my wife's exhaustion. And my sons are like, Daddy, let's play. I'm like, this will not last long. And so it's the guilt that pushes me, or I guess it's not guilt, but it's like the future doesn't hold much of this. Actually, you won't have this for very long. They want to play with you right now, and they adore you so much. They shout out your name when you come home, and so it's like, Daddy, and they run to you and hug both legs, and you're like, oh, dude, I have to, you know. And they're like, what do you? And they're like, come play, come have a look at this, and it's like, of course, because this will not last long. And so there's that thought. Is like, this will not last long. They won't be doing this forever. So you better make the most of it. And so that's what I think all the time. And I don't know do you think people in history have been thinking that way? Or is it just because on social media I see these posts all the time? I was like, this won't last long. And they always do it to me, those posts on social media. I'm like, oh, God.
I think it's a combination. I do. I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
I think we talk a lot more about everything now.
Yes.
Are accents hard to do? For you to do an American accent?
No.
It isn't?
No, it's easy.
Really?
For me, I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I can
you do like parts of the country, like an East Coast, a Midwest, a South?
I do South. Like that's not hard. You can kind of do your Matthew McConaughey. Like, all right. I don't know about New York. And I guess New York is like kind of like this, you know, that typical stereotypical gangster thing. I do a wonderful Donald Trump. It's one of the best. I do think I got one of the best Donald Trumps out there. It's beautiful.
It's very popular in California, I'm sure.
Oh, they love it. They stan Donald.
Like, do that again. Where can people find Shakewell?
Go to getshakewell.com, and it's all there. And it's you order it there, and we ship it to you cold. And
what are the flavors?
We got mango lassi, lemon sorbet, coconut lime, and there's one missing, and that's tangerine grapefruit, which is Tracy's favorite.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah, she loves it. Yeah. Mango lassi and lemon sorbet are the winners.
They are. They're the most popular.
They're the most popular by far.
If you want to direct people, please, I would encourage people just for fun to see your whole gorgeous family, including your mother-in-law, because she looks like good fun.
She is pure fun, yeah.
Direct people all the places they can find you.
So I'm the Luke Cook on Instagram and TikTok, and that's it. I think that's it. And then on my Get Shakewell, if you don't want to order Get Shakewell, you don't have to. But I have a newsletter on there where I share exercise science that's not uninteresting. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you, I always think people have sort of a thing that's been on their heart or on their mind, and if you could make extend an invitation or drop off a reminder to people, just was wondering if anything extra has been on you.
You're gonna die. So what are we gonna do with this time? Are we gonna enjoy it, or are we gonna like get down and depressed and like, oh, what's the state of the world? And it's like, you're gonna die. So can we just have a laugh? Like, can we have just a little bit more joy that we infuse into all these parts of our lives with that in mind? Like, this is not forever. It's really quite a short period of time that we have. And I just think about it all the time. I can't believe we're going to die, but we're totally going to do it.
I know.
And so your life should be adjusted to frame that in.
Yeah. And when I look at someone like you, by the way, just so you know, you're going to be the most successful person you know, because you already are. When I see your family and I see that you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
You've done it.
I'm rich.
Yeah.
Be in awe of life
Yes.
and in awe of death.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Luke Cook, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.